Welcome to Good Boys Gone Bland, Season 8, Episode 11, State of the Podcast. I'm your co-host, Anali.
I'm your co-host, Ryan.
I remember the first time we did one of these and I labeled it episode 10.5.
Have I been saying that? What have I been saying?
No, well, I don't
think
know,
we're just
because
saying
that never really
podcast.
made any sense. But I think the problem is that Podbean has kind of a confusing episode uploader. And, is this part of the season? Is it the midway point? Anyway, it's me, Jace. Hello.
Hello, Jace. You bring up a good point here. I mean, we're 8 State of the Podcasts in. I consider this part of the season because it's part of our wrap-up, and it's kind of like a transitory episode.
Yeah.
People tend to like these episodes.
They get more downloads than most episodes in the season, usually.
It's fucked up. Do people not like the movies?
No.
They just like us and our bullshit. And guess what you're going to get today? Some more of our bullshit.
More of our bullshit.
I think there's something ironic happening with the State of the Podcast, because back in the early days, this used to be the one that I would maybe put the most work into.
Right.
Thinking up of things for weeks, I would think of, good themes or good actors to do. And I would come through a list and I would cull it down to like 2, right?
Right.
Wow.
Now, I had to go to Home Depot after work. And on the car ride there, I was like, what should I pitch today?
So you're telling me that the next 14 weeks minimum of my sanity could be based on a 1/3 chance of you
something
being
I
like,
was word association I was doing
time
on the road.
You better have thought a little bit, Ryan. This is a lot of our fucking time. You know what my theory is? I think people see the State of the Podcast and they're like, oh, let's see what cool season they're going to have next. And they watch it to the end. They're like, fuck. But I did have listeners submit what they wanted for future State of the Podcast a couple times over the past year or so. Mostly garbage submissions, pretty fucking terrible, which I think would be very good for our podcast as a result. So our listeners, I think they get it. They know what we're going for here.
I could
It'd be fun
willing
to do a fan season where they just every week we put a poll up.
I would never give them that power.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe for an episode 10 for a fan appreciation season.
User submitted Wheel of Chaos season would just be absolutely rife with terror, I think.
But make it a theme, maybe. Some sort of bound.
But we're coming to the end. We're at the end of 10 episodes with Seann William Scott. What we usually do on this podcast, I mean, we can kind of explain. This would be a weird first episode, so I really hope this isn't the first, guys. If you are just jumping in, maybe go check out some of our other shit. We have some cool reviews. You ever seen Interstellar? The movie's fucking sick. Maybe check out our review of that. But these episodes...
It's 90 episodes ago.
These are actually... I mean, we get into it kind of late, but if you were looking for a survey of Seann William Scott and I want to watch 2 of his episodes, this is actually probably the better place to come for sinking your time
if you're
in.
actually wondering how he does.
Yeah, because you can listen to us bullshit, and then you can be like,
true.
They gave that movie a 7. I think maybe I'll listen to it or watch it.
That's true, Jace. This could be a good primer. But we are a podcast that marathons 10 movies of a similar actor or subject. We usually use this episode to debrief on our season. What was it like to watch this many movies in a row of the same thing? Was it good or bad? What were the highs and lows of this season? And for you folks who haven't listened to all of the episodes or haven't checked out all of the movies, I don't know why you would. That's an insane thing to do. This is an episode that'll kind of help you go through it with us. But I re-listened to Dude, Where's My Car, our episode, and we kind of talked about what we were predicting for the season. So did this season pan out like you guys thought it would? I mean, I think we were expecting some speed bumps, some maybe things that didn't age well, maybe some chuckles. How did you guys feel?
I'll take a swing at it because I feel very responsible for what happened. This was my pitch. And if we remember, I didn't have a pitch for the first 6 seasons that got picked. And then the last 2 have been mine. So I don't know. I think in the middle there, after Evolution and the rundown, I was flying high. And then we kind of fizzled out. If it wasn't for role models, I think the last 5 movies would have been kind of stinkers. So it's a very difficult to look back in retrospect and think man, I guess what I'm trying to say is it fizzled out. It got pretty bland. I think American Pie.
You think we did it?
We did it. Like, American Pie is pushing the envelope for how much, early 2000s comedies I can bear in 10 weeks.
Yeah, my early 2000s comedy meter, like, I think peaked out after one or two, and they just kept coming. They kept fucking coming, man. Holy shit. Jace, how did you feel about the season, or like how did it like lead up to your expectations or meet your expectations?
I think I'm in the same place with Seann William Scott. Besides being done talking about him,
Right.
we mentioned probably episode 6 or 7. Like, when Seann William Scott is coming on in the first brunt of these movies, I'm laughing, I'm smiling, I'm having a good time. But I'm really fucking done watching early 2000s comedies, and I want a little bit of depth. If I don't get some depth in some a little bit of genre differentiation, I'm gonna lose my mind.
Scribbles out early 2000 sex comedies pitch for next season. Yeah, I'm looking at even the dates of the movies that we watched. We have Dude, Where's My Car, 99. Evolution, 2001, 2003 for the next ones. I don't think we ever even approached the 2010s until Goon, which is like 8 episodes in. And then even then, the closest we got was the Lethal Weapon series that stars Seann William Scott in like 2019 or 2018. We were watching a lot of older comedies, which I think can be difficult. They're very specific in tone. We did have one genre flick, I guess if you can call it like that. We had Final Destination, which was a weird reprieve for me. Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, and I think we were kind of meh about the movie, but for me, who's someone who gets like stressed out or not, I don't super enjoy horror all the time. For me, that movie was like, holy shit. It was like a breath of fresh air. Like, I was lapping that shit up just to get some reprieve from this.
I don't have much more to say. I mean, that's the thing about Seann William Scott is like,
Yeah.
he's so typecasted
Right.
that once you're like, oh yeah, he's in a lot of early 2000s comedies. And I think the bad part was we chose Stark Raving Mad, which was like this indie house kind
Holy
of
shit.
movie where he was a serious lead. It was supposed to be a bank heist movie, right?
Oh, man.
And it was one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. Like, was not a Hollywood production.
Incredibly bad.
It was like Thanksgiving. It's closer to that end of the spectrum. And so I think that kind of put a bad taste in my mouth. And I almost wanted to go back to the sex comedies just to be like, okay, this is my safe space. It's not going to get above a 5 or a 6, but you know what? It's also not going to be Stark Raving Mad. And once again, he was the best part of that movie. And he was the only thing making it even passable. But like, man, there's something wrong with the Seann William Scott equation. Something is wrong. And I don't think that many people on this planet have come to this conclusion, because I don't think many people have marathoned all of his movies.
I'm on Rotten Tomatoes right now. You type in Seann William Scott, you look at the entire filmography. There are 6 movies that are above a 50% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Did we watch
I'm
them
sorry,
all?
above the splat symbol, which is like, I think it has to be above 60. I think technically. I think Goon is the highest one we watched. Certified fresh, 81%. All right, and we did not like that on our reviews.
What?
Next one down is Role Models. I think we were like okay on that. We were like, it's not bad. And then The Rundown is the next one down, which really surprises me.
Oh, I like that movie though.
And then you go all the way down. I'm at the bottom here, and we're at movie 43 with 4%. We never dipped into that one. That's not even the worst movie he said he's been in. So it's really wild. And like, I want to be clear here too. Like, for me, I don't necessarily dislike Seann or his performance or even like his roles. I think it's just these movies and like how he's deployed or whatever his agent's doing or the types of things that he's put into or chooses. Because I still honestly like Seann William Scott. I like his presence. And when he shows up in some of these shit-tastic movies, I think some good hormone squirts happen in my brain. I think I'm like, oh, nice, Sean's in this. And everything else around it is usually shitty, with some exceptions. There were some things we didn't like from him in this season.
Maybe it's that I like Seann William Scott, but I don't like his movies.
Right.
You know,
Right.
like he's stuck, and I don't know how to get him out of that. Maybe he's just not good at auditioning. Maybe he's got like in Friends when Joey has like the really terrible agent who's just like this old woman.
Right.
Maybe it's something like that where like he just doesn't have the hookups, doesn't have the connections, or doesn't want to be like an A-list star. But imagine him as like Star-Lord.
I think that would be pretty good.
Yeah.
And he could have had a Chris
Or
Pratt
Venom.
trajectory. Venno would be pretty sick, actually. Wait, hold on. He'd be a really good Eddie Brock.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Seann, for me, like, we've seen him in interviews, or at least we've seen what he's like behind the camera. He's kind of shy. He's kind of reserved. He's not like the characters he plays.
Yeah.
And maybe he got stuck in that box, and maybe, like, he feels he can't, like, get out of that. And maybe that's really not his strength either.
I do want to bring up his MTV Cribs episode.
Oh, please.
I was able to
you
find.
Watched it? Yeah, okay.
Oh.
It's for some reason it's hosted on Facebook Watch. And
the greatest venue for
yes. And so he normally on MTV Cribs, what happens is the show will like rent out a mansion for you and you can go post up in it and show everybody your house.
Let's be clear. I think me and hundreds of thousands of other people just saw that on Reddit the other week too. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I found it. It was linked in the comments.
Okay.
No way.
Yeah, someone else was talking about it.
The people love Seann William Scott. Okay, sorry, continue.
So someone else brought it up. It's like, hey, because the post was about how Redman talked about that. And this has been widely known, though. And then someone said, yeah, Seann William Scott did the same thing. And so I watched it, and the dude is like, it's a normal Hollywood apartment, okay? And he has a roommate, and the roommate's in there just like sitting on the couch. And there's like no food in the fridge. There's a section of the flooring that's like messed up. Their couch is held together with duct tape. And then he goes to one of the windows and he's like, hey, remember that time there was that like manhunt for this person? Yeah, this was the window he crawled out of when the police were banging down his door. And he ran down here and she's like showing. He can point to it. Like he can see it from where he's standing. Now let's go to the pool.
An apartment pool.
Yeah, it's the apartment pool, and he's like, but it's in the shade, and it's really cold, and so nobody ever uses it. And that's it. Yeah.
Sweet crib. Maybe that's why they make shit up on MTV Cribs, because
that's exactly why. Is because it's really sad.
Seann.
What are we talking about?
I was saying that I think if he had a better, maybe not even better. I think that he did try to get some movies that hit, that would have springboarded him into more public attention, like some of these other actors that we see. I think he just unfortunately missed with the timing. And, the rundown being on that list of movies that has like really high rating that he was in didn't lead to anything else for him late. Or maybe, man, he did so many movies and it doesn't seem to me like it led to anything that was like critically acclaimed. The next shot he got, I would say, were Role Models and Goon, and those were...
It kind of reminds me of like the Ashton Kutcher trajectory, and it's kind of funny that they were both in Dude, because like Ashton, for some reason, is more famous, and it's just because of that 70s show, right? Like, he doesn't have a big movie, does he?
Butterfly Effect? I don't know if that's big, though, right? Like,
right. So I think it's kind of interesting. I think more people would recognize Ashton Kutcher than they would Seann William Scott.
Yeah. And I mean, to your guys' point too, like I feel like the action comedy trajectory would have been ideal for Seann. And I think it's not too late for a Seann-assance. I feel like where he excels is in movies where like a concept needs to be sold, and he's kind of the comic relief in those things. Like, I mean, look how he's deployed in Evolution or in Rundown.
Maybe it's that we hit the other actors like Ben and McConaughey after they've had their renaissance.
Right.
Maybe we're ahead of the curve on this one.
We should have done a Seann season 10 years from now.
Right.
For season.
So I think that's kind of tough for me to agree with, because Seann William Scott is 46. Ben Affleck's only 50.
What?
It's like I think you'd have to completely change the type of things. Maybe, I mean, he's still doing TV. He's running strong as a TV actor, but
he's getting work.
I think he'd have to completely change like what we expect from him to have a renaissance in film. He was just in Becky, The Wrath of Becky.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a low. I think it was a made for film festival. I don't even know if it's been released. I think it's in some small amount of theaters right now, right?
Yeah, it's his highest rated movie is Wrath of Becky. So maybe Seann-assance in the works. Limited release on the 26th of May. 2023. So I hope we see it. I think like he did mention in an interview that he feels like he got blamed for a lot of the failures of these movies, and I don't think it was his fault. I mean, he's not writing the scripts in here.
Oh God, no.
He's
Yeah,
not directing.
that I agree with. He did not ruin these movies.
And like, I mean, fucking bless him. Like some of these shitty lines, he's actually like making them sound not that bad when he's doing it. So
maybe the horror genre then, maybe because the horror genre kind of does that. They pick one or two people who are somewhat well known and they stick them in a horror movie.
Right.
Like Toni Collette had, a couple horror movies that brought her back.
Yeah.
I think the recent Zach Cregger movie, Barbarian, he would have been good as either male character. Of course, that ended up being Justin Long and Bill Skarsgård.
Justin Long's in that movie? Wow. That's another dude from this era that I haven't thought about in a long time.
And I think Seann William Scott might have even been able to pull it off a little bit better because Justin Long is not very cool, but he's supposed to be like a cool person.
Right.
And that's kind of like up Sean's alley, like person who thinks he's cool.
Yeah.
That is, I think I have one more comment. I think that's also the disconnect. He doesn't have the drama that other actors and like high profile actors have. I feel like you got to have some like Chris Pratt, for example.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, oh, he was living in Hawaii, not acting at all, like working at a place when he got his gig for whatever TV show. And you're like, oh, okay, cool. And the stories we have of Seann William Scott are like, he's a reserve dude who was born in Minnesota or Michigan and
right.
He got a tattoo commemorating his father when he passed away in 2007. And some people, you're like, they're railing coke off of.
Yeah.
He needs a story. He needs something exciting. Seann, maybe do something exciting.
Maybe how about this?
Yeah.
He had a podcast made for him by three guys who
were
doing a bunch of other stuff.
Right,
and then one day they kidnapped him.
They kidnapped him. So, Seann, if you're out there,
we gotta hit him up. We gotta get in his DMs on Insta.
To us, talk. All right. Do we want to get into the movies we watched? Like Jace, you graciously made some graphs again, kind of showing like what we thought over time. Like what was our Seann-OO-MMeters? What was our movie meters? What did we think about these dang things?
Yeah. Can one of you maybe open it on
them?
Discord and share your screen?
The Seann-OO-MMeter. Oh, I get you. Double O, double M.
Double O, double M. I did
very
that.
good, Jace. That's very good. And Jace, what is our Seann-OO-MMeter? In your words?
Our Seann-OO-MMeter is how Seann, how shibby Seann is in his movies. How double lettered up he is in each of his names. His ability to wow us with asinine motivational commentary and things like cacaws. It also sometimes includes screen time. And I'll let, at some point Ryan explain his secondary measure, so to speak.
What's my secondary measure?
That he's the second man. That's why,
yeah. That's a good that was a good so to speak. I'm just too stupid.
Alley-oop and smack to the face.
Yeah, so my thing is that when I think of Seann William Scott, I don't think of him as the lead, right? He's usually a sidekick or a member of a group, and he's not normally the main character. That's true from his breakout role in American Pie, where he's not even the main part of the group who's making the sex pact. And also think about Dude, Where's My Car? Once again, Ashton Kutcher is technically the lead, and he's a little bit more famous, even though they go everywhere together in the movie. So that's how I made my, imagination of Seann. And if he ended up being the lead, that would dock him points,
Right. And I see what you mean, Ryan. And I think he's well deployed in those types of roles. Because we haven't seen a lead role where they really have cracked the Seann code. Speaking of lead role, we see rounding out the bottom of this list is Stark Raving Mad. I think that was an attempt at an action comedy just done so fucking poorly that we can barely call it a film.
It absolutely had the worst of every trope I think that was included in 2000s movies, which is unfortunate because I do think it had probably one of the most interesting heist concepts that I would actually like to watch.
I keep thinking that this is the movie with Mr. Fucktastic. And
it's not. Believe it or not, that's Bulletproof Monk. Believe it or not, this does not have. It's the one with DJ Fuck You.
Yeah,
that's right. It's
kind of weird that they went there almost twice.
But it's like Bulletproof Monk did everything better in that one with like the cool rave gangs that he has to fight. Like I feel like that should have been in this one. Fuck. Anyways, terrible showing of Seann. Just all around shitty movie. I'd be surprised if this wasn't the bottom of our movie meters.
So I want to, as we go through this, I want to take kind of note that we're all usually pretty in agreement. Like there's a pretty steady thing going on here. And most of them are above a 7, right? 6, or since we have 11, because we had 2 TV episodes in one episode.
Yeah.
There's 11 things here, and 7 of them are 7 or above, which is much different than a lot of other scales where, there's a lot more variability. And that maybe means he's typecasted.
I think so. I mean, I don't think we've seen consistency like this since Matthew McConaughey, where he's bringing the flavor every fucking time. And we look at Goon. I gave that one a 7. You guys gave it a much lower score.
I gave it a 2.
You didn't like Seann in that one. I thought he was a little closer to what I wanted him to be in that one, where he's doing a little dramatic. He's doing a little comedy, a little bit of action in there. It was working a little bit for me.
Yeah, I just didn't understand the choice to make him like mentally handicapped.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
That's so far away from his typecast that couldn't have gotten very many points out of me.
Yeah, that we talked about that in Goon, where it was like his character was so dumb in like a serious way,
right?
Where it wasn't like goofy, like Dude, Where's My Car? Where you're just
or even like Anchorman,
right?
Where, like
right.
Everybody is kind of goofy. There's even one character who is probably has some sort of mental problem, but it's like such a different vibe than in Goon, where like there's people who are playing it straight right next to him.
Yeah, and it's like, is he doing like a caricature of like someone
is this offensive?
And it's like should we laugh? Like, is this is weird. Right? So yeah, I mean, totally get that with Goon. What'd you guys feel about Final Destination? That looked like we were pretty mid on that one.
I think Final Destination is a rough one. I think it belongs here on the Seann-O-Meter.
Yeah.
We're talking about a movie where a majority of his lines were cut. He's a good presence. He has my favorite scene in the movie with malted milk balls dropping all over the plane when it's crashing, and him be like, "Oh, my balls!"
I don't think he says, "Ah, my balls." I wish he did.
No, the audience will never know unless they watch it. That's where I'm at. He wasn't. He wasn't deployed effectively because we have a cast that is large purposefully because the story dictates it, really.
Right.
Hey, that's a good
Ensemble cast. The next one's Lethal Weapon. He was bringing that action comedy shit in there. I actually kind of believed he was like a fucking badass in that movie. I think it kind of worked for him. What'd you guys think?
I mean, sort of, but then again, there's no opportunity for him to be really like funny. And he needs to kind of be the comic relief character, whereas Damon Wayans in that show is the comic relief character.
That was weird, yeah.
And so while I think he's the funny badass, in this he's just the badass, and that's kind of a middling score. It's a step below Bulletproof Monk, where he has a lot more personality.
That's true. That's a good point. It's weird to have him be the straight man. Maybe a little more sauce. Bulletproof Monk, I'm weirdly remembering a lot better than I expected. I thought I was gonna fucking hate that one, but I'm looking back at it and I'm remembering a kind of a fun time. Like, what about you guys?
That was, I think, the thing that sticks out to me the most is like this weird connection with Seann William Scott to like early 2000s Chinese fetishism.
Right.
Oh God.
Which
Jace is saying it out loud.
Which is like, for whatever reason, pretty prevalent in like 3 or 4 of these movies. Maybe not directly tied to his character, but like obviously like tropic.
Yeah, because he works for like a kung fu theater and he like worships that shit. And he has like tattoos and shit. Like, this was peak like white guy getting Chinese characters on his biceps.
So, I really recall that. I don't think they did anything crazy about it besides him liking kung fu in the movie's Bulletproof Monk, so like he was supposed to like martial arts. Otherwise, I don't know, wouldn't make any sense, but brought the weird sexual tension in that movie for sure.
Yeah. So as we get into the upper half of this, the 7.7 in evolution and above, up to like 2 things that had a 9, which is role models and the TV episode It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I'm looking at it, and Jace and I gave at least one 10, but Denali did not ever give a 10. He only gave out
I did.
He gave out 2 nines. So
I thought I'd get there. I didn't.
even American Pie, which is his typecast role that he's most famous from, you gave a 7.
Yeah, didn't like
So
him in
can
that.
you maybe explain to me the rationale of the top end of your scale?
Yeah, I really thought I would go higher in this. I'm also kind of confused about that because, like, looking back, I might have given him higher on Dude, Where's My Car? But after that, I was like, okay, maybe I'll give him higher on American Pie. Maybe I'll give him higher on Goon, which I remembered being a bit better at the time. Maybe on Role Models. But watching each of those movies, I'm like, I don't know if this is like, I'm like, oh my God, this is such a Seann role. Especially after watching American Pie, I don't find him like that memorable in that movie. And we kind of talked about in that season, like the shit I like about him is not in that movie. But like the shit I like about him is in like Role Models and even in The Rundown. So I might bump some other shit up, but I don't know what's a 10 for me.
Interesting.
I think through these seasons, through 8 seasons now, it's like there's a little bit of trepidation to give something a 10 so early.
Right.
And then
Yeah, I agree
because
with
because like we really change how we view the character or the actor throughout the season. And, you know, I mean, I think I do it more than most, and it's only been like 3 times where I'm like, I'd actually give that movie a different score now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I guess we can't do like every single movie. This episode will be like 3 hours long.
Yeah.
The top of our list, surprisingly, is Country Mac from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
That and Role Models, which everybody,
right.
and we
Oh,
all
that's right,
agreed
yeah.
he got a 9 for Role Models, and we averaged out to a 9 for Always
Solid
Sunny.
fucking 9. Yeah,
Which I think that's fair for me.
that tracks. That
yeah.
tracks.
Do you want to switch the movie meter?
Let's do it. Movie meters, folks. What do we actually think about these suckers?
I'm happy.
Holy shit.
I'm very happy about this one. I'm
Wow.
happy that I
What?
took home number 1 and 2. Well, technically I
hold
didn't
on,
take home 1 and 2 because technically the number 1 pick which was the TV It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, was paired with Lethal Weapon, which is subsequently the second worst.
Yeah,
Wait,
you
hold
weighed
on.
him.
I need a second to digest this because this is drastic.
It's
This is the
fucking
This is
bad.
the opposite of the last meter.
This is
Yeah.
so low.
Hold on. Okay, so I'm the one with the biggest variance in this one. It looks me and Denali kind of. Jace is
Right,
pretty
yeah.
good. Look at that, Jace. Mostly 4s and 5s.
Hey, there's no good and bad in data, baby.
There's
Well,
just,
I know. I'm just. It's harder to. It's easier to get a path for Jace. Jace is so okay. This is maybe my takeaway is that Jace, your scores track the overall flow of the averages really well.
Oh, yeah.
Like, your favorite episodes and were the favorite. Your middles were the middle, and your least favorites were the least favorites.
We're the only movie podcast that also describes graphs.
But there's
This is
something
what
weird.
the people want.
There's something weird happening in the middle for me and Denali, where each of us rated a movie a
7 and
2,
2,
and the
yeah.
other person rated it a 7. And that was, I liked Dude, Where's My Car? I rated that a 7, but Denali rated it a 2. And then
I think in retrospect, I could give Dude, Where's My Car also a 5, and, you know, it could be the exact opposite flip-flop. I don't know why I gave it a 4, if I'm being honest.
And then Denali liked Final Destination and gave it a 7, and I gave it a 2.
Yeah.
But on either side of that, we're on the same page, essentially.
And I think that's like our divergence in like, I guess, what comedies or what horrors we like, maybe, or I mean, but those are the only 2. I mean, we're pretty much in line with everything else. Stark Raving Mad's at the bottom, as it fucking deserves. I think I gave it a 0. You guys liked it quite a bit more than I did. I gave it a 0. You guys gave it almost 100% more than I did. Like, Jace, you gave it a 1, which is like almost like an infinite amount higher than what I gave it. So, like, can you guys speak on that? Like, why you guys loved this movie so much?
I fucking hated that movie. If I gave shit 0s, I'd give that shit a 0. It has
that's
to
the
be
thing. It's a
really,
scale.
really... Actually, I've given something a 0 before. It has to be really, really drastically bad. And
Yeah.
I thought this was funny enough bad with the good heist concept, I think, that, you know, I felt like it needed a 1 or something.
I think my scale just bottoms out at a 1.
It wasn't bad enough to even be like super funny either. I was still running out the clock for a lot of
Right.
it. But like going up the scale, like it doesn't really pass 5 on our fucking movie meter until you get like 7 movies in, which is
And then
insane.
it's only, we have one that's a 5.3, that's American Pie.
Right.
A couple that are around 6, which is Evolution and Role Models. And then the top 2 at an average of 7 is The Rundown and once again, Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And 7
Yeah.
is not very high, guys.
No,
Every
it's
other season we've had bangers.
But I mean, some of these I think deserve an asterisk. Like if I talked about like my actual enjoyment watching these, like American Pie and Role Models, like I would actually put those numbers higher. It's
Why
just
didn't
that
you?
like there were certain
Because
things.
it comes with a certain sense that you're rating it high and you might recommend it to someone when it
Yeah.
understandably has content that you're like, maybe I shouldn't.
And it's also not only that. There were things in there that shot it down for me. Like it's high highs and really low lows for me in those movies. And I look back and it's like, yeah, I enjoyed American Pie probably more than a 5 out of 10. But with the lows included, man, I just can't give it higher.
That's fair.
I think for most of these, I remember it's like in the moment watching them, the bad stuff leading up to the review is what's on my mind, I think, more so than the good stuff. But then we get the review out of the way, and then it's like the good things and the funny things about the movie that are sitting in the pool that we could come back to this, and I'm like, man, I was a little harsh. But I think if I watched them again, I'd be like, fuck.
Yeah.
And a lot of this season, we watched the day of, and that should also be taken into account. So, like, we fucking finished the movie, and then we review it, and we're like, Jesus Christ. And it's, like, fresh in our heads. We're punished by some of these movies.
Movies that have poor pacing fare worse in that regard. I think that's...
I would agree.
And I do think one of the strengths of this season was pacing.
Holy shit, yeah.
Not a lot of these movies are very long.
This was a 90-minute season, which I also really appreciated. I mean, we've had episodes in the past that were, like, pushing 3 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But once again, there's not really any movies in here that we could have like critically analyzed.
No.
These are just like, worthless comedies almost. So like,
Hey, these aren't worthless.
It's much different than McConaughey and like Ben Affleck movies where there's like
Right.
David Fincher movies and Oscar-winning movies, Christopher Nolan movies. Like, I don't know if I can name the director of a single one of these.
Yeah, we're critically analyzing Dude, Where's My Car? Like, are we like what kind of podcast are we? We sat there and like we didn't even jokingly analyze it. We sat there.
Literally, had an existential crisis about the whether or not it was okay to talk about certain stuff in the movie.
And then we were also looking at camera angles and like fucking like writing callbacks and shit. This is the most in-depth analysis, I will say, of Seann William Scott's movie career I think that exists on the market today.
Ever been done.
We could teach a college level course. UCLA, hit me up. I could fucking teach a course on Seann. But yeah, folks, if you wanted to see that graph, I will post it on YouTube eventually. And maybe Instagram if I remember. But I hope we did an okay job at describing those because they look great, Jace. Thank you again for making those. Watch our old State of the Podcast too on YouTube where I'm almost fucking caught up. I'm making our way through our disaster season. It takes a while to upload these. It takes like 2 to 3 hours, which is crazy because our videos are so damn long.
Spotify can include the video now.
Oh shit. I don't know how to do that. So
I don't know.
if someone wants to do that, we will pay you nothing. But please do that, our GBGB warriors. But folks, thank you so much for sticking with us in the Seann William Scott season. Thank you to Seann for hanging in there and making your movies and doing what you do, dog. I know we talked a lot of shit back there, but we love you, dog.
It's in good spirits.
It's in good spirits. Friends take the piss out of each other, and we consider you our friend.
Sean. Can I call you Sean? No? Mr. Scott?
No. Mr. William Scott?
What do you want me to... I feel like I need to include both the letters every time.
But folks, let us know what you think about our Seann season. Let us know if you wanted us to include a movie. I mean, we've talked about doing a revisited season. If we did, which movies would you like us to see if we ever did that? Seann, let us know what you think about our reviews. Jason, looks like you want to say something.
Yeah, besides the movie reviewing portion of this, I think this season and the content in the movies has led to some of my more enjoyable bits that we've done on the show. And I don't know, maybe it's because we're getting a little bit better, more efficient, but we had some really funny improv.
We did
this season that Ryan, people have told me multiple times that one episode you kicked it into gear and you were killing it.
What?
You were killing the improv.
I don't even remember.
Yeah.
And that actually brings me to my annual performance review that I was going to give you guys at the end of the season.
Oh.
I like to do this every once in a while. We've done this for a few seasons. We like to review our coworkers and let you guys know what you can improve on. Ryan, I'll start with you. You've been doing some good performances on the quizzes in our think tanks. The TikTokers love that shit. And you've been taking you've been proactive in the improv, but what I'd like to see you do more is initiate improv more often. Maybe just say we want to do more improv games and at least double or triple the impressions for future seasons. I want to see more impressions. I want to see only impressions. And Jace, I was going through our edits. You are on the most incredible streak on our box office game. It has been unbroken. I have never seen anything like this. And you've also been doing strangely well at the quizzes. I'm going to give you the most improved award. And we're talking about employee of the month. I think I'm still gonna give it to myself, as is tradition. But both of you guys have been doing such a good job. Jace, of course, great work on the improv. The audience fucking loves it. And of course, for mine, no notes, perfection as usual, eligible for raise. Any comments yet, Jace?
Boom shakalaka!
God, that's so fucking loud.
It's not even gonna go through on the audio.
I think I could cut it in. I cut the Discord audio into it. That's so fucking loud. Like I have that maxed.
Incredibly loud.
Why do you guys have the volume at 100?
It's so loud that it actually makes me sweat when it goes.
I think it's based on you because your user volume is at 171% for me.
Right click on soundboard and then, turn it down.
Sean, you're welcome on anytime to review any of your other co-stars. And folks at home, thanks so much. But with that, the passing of the torch is upon us. At this point in our State of the Podcast, we will decide the fate of Season 9. Dun dun. We will submit no more or no less than 2 pitches each and place it on the ordained Wheel of Chaos. The wheel will be spun at no less than 10 seconds.
Spun.
After which, we will select whatever it decides randomly. We leave it to the fates.
Whatever it decides, we'd leave it randomly to the fates.
We spin it only once on camera.
Once.
No cheating.
Never have we cheated. Is that true?
I think that's actually true. I think that's actually true.
We've technically not cheated.
I don't think we've cheated ever. We fucking could have.
I
We
put something
should
on
have.
there last season that I think we had to.
No, because it landed on Seann William Scott.
We considered having to do it.
We considered it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
we did it,
but we
guys.
didn't. But we didn't.
And we should have.
Now we do need to talk because
Okay.
I've successfully the Wheel of Chaos has been kind to me.
It has.
As a
Statistics.
You're feeling
As a
bad right now. You're
6
like,
foot tall-
okay, if it picks mine again.
as a 6 foot tall white, heterosexual man in America, not a lot goes my way. But the Wheel of Chaos has, for some reason, decided to, bridge equity and has landed on me the last 2 seasons.
Finally, a win.
Yeah, finally. So, would we like to maybe say that, if it does land on me and you guys both veto?
Well, okay. We've been in this position before where I've had 2 picks in a row and Jace has had 2 picks in a row.
Yeah.
Okay.
We didn't veto at that point. I think after 3, you can't do the next State of the Podcast like pitch. How about that? It's like if we get 3 in a row, then
that's
we
like
force
literally a full year's worth of movies.
Yeah,
of just
30
one person
movies.
that we've watched.
We cannot.
But that's the
shun
gamble.
the wheel.
That is
But
true.
that's the
That's
gamble.
true.
Okay,
Like,
we
that
can
is-
introduce a system where it's like, I thought about this, where it's like if one of our picks get picked, we get 1 less pick next day of the podcast, and if we get picked again, then we get no picks. for
That
the
would
next
be
one,
fair.
and then we can
If
regenerate.
if I get it this time, I only get 1 pitch next season.
What if one person doesn't get it like 6 times in a row?
That
Then they
happened to
get
Ryan.
more.
Yeah.
Ryan didn't get his pitch in for 7
For
seasons.
7 seasons.
Wow, man.
And we
that's
didn't
a
do shit for
long
him.
Time.
Okay,
And we just say, "Fuck you, buddy."
and then
I had
now,
to watch dog movies, and these
They were
weird
great.
yeah,
You
I've
love
gotten
Ben Affleck. You're like full attention for Ben Affleck. Don't lie to me.
I've had multiple comments from people saying our dog season was our best season.
I agree with that, dude.
Yeah, and unfortunately, most of the comments are, "I love it when you guys are going fucking insane watching movies you hate."
Well, that's the other thing too. It's like, okay, no, seriously, if there's actual fans and not bots listening to this thing,
Only bots.
I think that there's a definite balance in what we're choosing between movies that will drive us crazy and therefore
Yes.
are a good theme, and then movies that won't drive us crazy and are not at risk for ruining the podcast.
Right. And we did have to consider that for this one, because like we did have a good discussion last episode off mic. I want to bring some of that on mic, because we mentioned this is kind of during our summer craziness where our schedules can be hard to align. There was some talk that maybe we shouldn't pick picks that maybe would be so torturous that we cannot bring ourselves to continue it throughout this difficult period. In interest of that, like I tried to pick some things that would be still a little torturous, but more fun and more willing to watch. So you're not going to see horses from me this date of the podcast. All right, folks. You're not going to see horses. You're not going to see Fast and Furious for this one either. All right. I'm going to wait
really?
until we have a good time to do
That's
this.
a fall
Plus,
season type of. Yeah.
I think so. And also, I think those are better served with every single fucking week in a row we watch Horse or Fast and Furious. We're fully immersed. All right. I want something that's okay if we have some breaks in between.
Yeah, I don't know if I got that message, but that's fine.
That's fine, Ryan. I'm saying I did my due diligence this time around, so you can't get mad at me. But guys, I mean, how do we want to do this? Do we want to do one pitch at a time, each of us? You want to just do two?
Put our names on the wheel of chaos and just spin that to start. And
Okay, Wheel of Chaos, who goes first? And then Wheel of Chaos, how we do it. Ryan, since yours got it last time, do you want to go
Okay.
first?
Yeah, well, and let's do them both.
Let's do them both.
both? No, I need a break. I got to recoup my creative
Okay,
juices.
Freaking fine.
Fuck.
Jeez.
Jesus Christ. Fucking divas over here. What
I'm
happened to
I
us?
don't want to hear one person talk for 10 minutes in a row explaining 20 movies.
The first category I thought of on my drive to Home Depot today.
Okay, Home
And I
Depot
think
movies.
this was actually sparked by a conversation that Jace was having last episode. I don't know with whom. But I'm going to pitch medieval movies.
Medieval movies, yes!
So, as an example, there's movies like Highlander.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, right? They're still making good new ones, too. There's like that recent The King movie. There's The Green
Fuck
Knight.
yeah.
We've got some animated ones with Brave.
You can always change your fate.
Yeah. And there's a Scooby-Doo one, too.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And there's the classics like Conan the Barbarian and even Monty Python and the Holy Grail. There's a bunch of cult movies like Army of Darkness and Willow. And the fan favorite, Knight's Tale. Yeah, I think
Knight's
it's a big draw.
Tale.
So, like, some of my favorite movies are on here. Like, I love Army of Darkness. And I think, and Green Knight I love too. So, like, I think this would be actually a legit season of good movies. I think we're going to want to purposefully pick some stinkers. Yes, Jace.
Are we going to stick to the canonical 476 AD to 1450 AD for medieval movies? Because if it's outside of that, it doesn't count.
Well, that would factor into your score then. This is just like with the disaster movies.
It doesn't
and there'd be
fall
people
between
who
the
would
days.
say that
I never,
that's not
I never pitched a movie that wasn't a disaster movie.
But you could have.
Yes, and I think medieval in spirit counts. Like if we, for example, wanted to watch the Dungeons and Dragons movie, I don't know, maybe.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
okay, I'm in. Because, like, there
The
are
one from
multiple
1999. Hell yeah, Ryan.
Also,
yeah.
before this podcast, the worst movie I ever had watched was a movie featuring like Peter Dinklage. It's called The Knights of Badassdom.
Oh no.
And it's atrocious. One of the worst movies I've ever seen. And it would be kind of fun to revisit those sort of things, like really terrible movies.
Sweet. We can call it The Castle.
Yeah, that's good.
And Ryan, I legit thought about pitching medieval this season.
really?
So it's like I got 3 picks. Sweet. I'm gonna keep this simple. I wanted to pick something that was gonna be fun to discuss and also maybe a bit fun to watch, something that has equal parts stinkers, equal parts bangers. This is a bit of a repitch. I think I pitched it season 2. I'm going to do M. Night Shyamalan movies once more.
Wow.
We're going to move from the Sean Shack to the Shyamalan Shack. There are some fucking buck nasty wild movies in here. You got The Village, The Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, Signs, Split, Old, Knock at the Cabin. Each of these movies have fucking wicked ass twists at the end. We can do a twistometer. What I will say, after each one of these movies that I've seen, I haven't seen all of his movies, I always want to talk about it after I see them. Even if it's good or bad, it's always like, holy fuck, I got to talk to someone about this shit. This is insane. I think it'll be a fun season. So Shyamalan Shack is my first pitch. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Screech. Door. Clicks open.
Hold on, Jace. Pause your thoughts. Can you hear that?
No.
Oh shit.
Your audio will probably pick it up.
What was it?
Yeah, that's true.
Is it
Go ahead.
Lowrider?
Go ahead.
I am terrified.
My first pitch of the season is Ride or Die. Movies with memorable vehicles.
Oh yeah.
Movies like Back to the Future,
Oh shit.
Mad Max, Fury Road,
Oh shit.
The Italian Job, Jurassic Park, maybe it counts. Cars, 2006 animated film about cars.
Those are memorable.
Could be Fast and the Furious.
Fast Furious.
Could be. Herbie, Fully Loaded. Might need to do a rewatch.
Bumblebee.
Speed.
Oh shit.
Ghostbusters.
Oh, that's true. They have the Ghostmobile. Yeah.
You know, I think my first pitch
Yeah.
is movies with a memorable car.
With a memorable car, hell yeah. You always have the most unique pitches, Jace. I'm trying to figure out how to Google this, but there's a shitload we could pick from here. Like, you've got even, it's okay, so it doesn't have to be a car that has a name.
Question
Like,
mark? Question mark?
Dude, okay, yeah.
I do like the title Ride or Die,
Unfortunately,
too.
I'm going to have to interject and ask what we do now when my second pitch was going to be car movies.
Oh my god.
Oh.
And
You fuckers thought I was going to do Fast and Furious, and two of you put car movies?
I put the song I was playing in the general chat because I had to load it ready to go. Yeah, so I picked car movies for my second pitch, and there was a while ago when we decided that if two people ever pitched the same thing, that it would like get auto selected. But I don't think we should do that. I just think it should take up more of the wheel. I do like Jace's pitch, but I think it's different than like a car movie because
Definitely.
like Gone in 60 Seconds, you know, Baby Driver,
Right.
even Tokyo Drift, like those are car movies, and even the movie Cars, but they're not necessarily like movies with a memorable, like a famous car.
Right.
I want to watch the NASCAR movies like Talladega Nights and Days
Oh
of
my
Thunder.
God.
Like that would be so much fun. And that's definitely like a certain vibe too. And the movie that made me want to pitch this was Mad Max. So there's some overlap, and I'm not sure how we want to deal with that.
I wonder if you guys can both put your pitches there, and just like whoever it lands on, that's the person who dictates what kind of car season we have. You know, it's like one would have a memorable vehicle, or one would be literally car movies.
Yeah.
We could keep loosey-goosey, do like 50-50.
I think maybe just, broadening the idea of a car movie.
If there's a car
If
that
there's a
you,
car in it.
if no one can argue that there
So
is a
basically
car
the
in it.
only movie we can't do is Land Before Time.
All right, sweet. If you guys want to do that, we can do a car section or separate car sec, whatever you guys want.
Yeah. If you're cool with it, and if you don't want me to
I
pitch
should have
something
fucking
else.
pitched Fast and Furious. God damn it.
I'm getting a little bit of dread. I don't actually want to watch car movies as
No,
badly.
me either. I was
You
really not
fuckers
expecting
can't
it.
do that.
I mean, you guys, for some of it, you do bank on the 1 in 6 chance.
I know. That's what I was
Right?
doing. Herbie
You
Fully
guys are
Loaded?
bastards.
Now we're
Chitty Chitty
talking.
Bang Bang. Great. We've got a lot of room for cars here, but I'm not gonna give in to temptation. I'm gonna hold Fast and Furious back. Okay, we're gonna do it some
You
other
might
time.
not want
It's
to
not
because
gonna be this time.
if we do car season, I don't want to do Fast and the Furious.
If I did Fast and Furious, that'd be like half of our fucking wheel. Either way, we're gonna be watching races,
Get it out of the way.
and I'm not gonna do that.
It's like every 4-year-old child's dream. Like race cars.
What a fucking race car scene. We've regressed. Okay, I'm gonna put some variants in here. Okay. This I've never pitched this one before, but it has come up as an audience suggestion. It's something that I agree would make a pretty fucking fun season. I'm gonna do young adult novel adaptations. So these are movie adaptations.
No, Denali,
If
this
you
is
are
gonna
not
kill us.
familiar
This is
with
gonna kill
YA
us.
novels, I'm talking about your
Julie's
Twilight.
watching one right now.
I'm talking about your Divergence, your
so
Maze
fucking
Runners, your
bad.
Hunger Games.
I like Maze Runner.
Holes, Perks of Being a Wallflower, Ender's Game, young adult novel adaptations, son. If you've read them and
You
there's
know-
a movie,
You can fuck yourself for the speech you gave at the start of this.
Artemis Fowl. There's a lot of great.
Yeah, so was that
movies
all
up
some
in
bullshit about
It was all
not wanting
bullshit.
to like?
It was all bullshit.
Here. There are
I
some
love
great
it, though.
movies in here.
I love it.
And it's on the list.
Please let us be car movies. Please let it be fucking.
The YA shelf.
Ooh.
All right, Jace, what's your last pitch? Just fucking give it to us, man.
The last pitch is something that I've talked about before.
Okay.
I've mentioned it at the beginning of a podcast. I might have texted it to you. And I just
I'm
want
so
to get
scared.
these thoughts out here in a recorded
Okay.
concept. This is a little highbrow, I think.
Okay.
Maybe too much so. My second pitch for the season is Journey of the Fellowship.
Okay. Okay.
And if you didn't know, the Fellowship
my
of the
attention.
Ring has
Yeah.
9 members in it.
Okay.
Okay.
And if you include, say, the movie The Fellowship of the Ring, you've got a perfect season where you can watch The Fellowship of the Ring.
Oh
And
shit!
then one movie for each member of the
For each
Fellowship
member
of the Ring.
Fellowship.
So, I mean, we'd start
Oh
off with
my
Lord of
God.
the Rings,
Okay,
Fellowship of the
okay.
Ring. Then
Yeah.
you could go like Elijah Wood,
Okay.
which I'm seeing Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Is that true?
Isn't that one?
Yeah, he's not a major character though.
Okay, so a different
He's
one.
in a bunch of movies.
Viggo
Yeah, yeah.
Mortensen, A History of Violence.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
wait, this is the wrong list. Sorry. Wait. Sorry.
He's in that, yeah.
So okay, let me just list up. We got Frodo Baggins as Elijah
Yes.
Wood. We've
Thanks.
got Samwise Gamgee, Sean Astin, Gandalf the Grey, Sir Ian McKellen, Aragorn, Viggo Mortensen, Legolas, Orlando Bloom, Gimli, John Rhys Davies, right?
Sure.
Boromir, Sean Bean, Mary,
Yes.
Dominic Monaghan, Pippin, Billy Boyd, and, you know,
We
The
could
Good
do-
Son,
so you're saying-
Rudy, Mr. Holmes, Eastern Promises, Pirates of the Caribbean, Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark, Goldeneye, The Lost City of Z, Master Commander, The Far Side of the World, a movie for
Holy
each
shit.
of them.
I am furiously typing to find a Fast and the Furious crossover for some of these. Hell yeah! Okay, wait. So, do you have a title?
No.
We can call it the Fellowship. I think we can work on it.
We can workshop
We
it.
can work on it. Okay, hell yeah! This
Let
would
me
be
load
a
up the reel.
This would be a great high concept marathon journey of the Fellowship.
Wow.
Holy fuck!
The
That'd be
journey.
random as fuck. But then it'd be funny to be like, all right, let's watch a Viggo Mortensen movie.
Guys, I have it from last time loaded up. It's apparently sorted my cookies. One of us pitched farm movies and one of us pitched horse movies last year. So
Yeah, remember that? We had just like we're moving through time. We had a high probability of horses last time. Now we
Now
have a
it's
high
cars.
probability of cars. Next time's gonna be spaceships.
I had to fight myself, like the urge to pitch dragon movies.
Oh fuck yeah! Oh fuck yeah!
Dude, yes.
On the drive home.
Homie, what?
I'm like gripping my wheel, angry as fuck because of getting out of the movie, and I'm like, God, I'm gonna pitch fucking dragon movies.
You should have done dragons, dude. That's like, what is that like?
So good.
Fucking
I don't know.
Dragonheart,
I don't even know.
The Hobbit.
Puff the Magic Dragon, which would be okay. Ryan has got the Wheel of Chaos queued up. Thank you, Ryan, for filling that in. We've got all of our picks set in here. Holy shit, this is the part of the podcast where it makes me so fucking nervous. For the next 10 plus weeks, these are the movies that we're going to be watching. Some of these are a little not like the others, and some of these are a little like the others. Okay, folks, we're going to spin this once, right?
I'm going to spin it only once.
Boom shakalaka.
And remember,
So-
whatever it lands on.
So did you just give a rundown, or do we want to do it again?
I can do it again.
Yeah, do it. Can you just read them off the list?
Okay, so Ryan has placed the inputs. He has placed The Fellowship, medieval movies, movies with cars, car movies, young adult novel adaptations, and M. Night Shyamalan. A bit of a mixed bag there, and we are going to decide the fate of season 9 for us.
Okay, hold hands, boys.
Once it goes, we got to say what it is.
1/3 car movies.
Hold hands.
Ready, boys?
Oh!
Here it goes.
Oh my god! Oh my god! I regret everything. Oh, I regret it.
No. Once it's going to start slowing down,
Oh
though.
my god! Oh my god!
Why are they right next to each other?
Yes, it's car movies.
Jesus Christ!
Okay, I'm only taking this as 2.5 wins in a row.
Oh my god!
You know what that means, boys?
It started slowing down at the beginning of car movies, and I was like, "Oh, it's gonna pass it." And there's the next car movies loaded up right after it.
They're next to each other.
They weren't even separated on the wheel. It's like,
Big ass slice.
They didn't stand a chance.
Wait, so Ryan, this was your car movies that
Yeah.
one, right? So it's movies.
I'm gonna
Okay.
say, due to Jason's input as well,
Okay.
I think I'm gonna be very lenient on what we call a car movie for selection purposes.
Okay.
You can then give it a low score if you think the car that you were thinking of wasn't in it very much, like a Ghostbusters. Or if in Transformers they spend all their time as planes and fighting robots and not cars. But yeah, go ahead. As long as there's a car in it,
Okay.
do it.
Okay.
But what
Hell
do you
yeah.
imagine as a car movie? For me, I think racing. I think heists. There's got to be some mechanics.
There's got to be like a driving scene, some kind of chase scene. I usually
Yeah.
think
what,
Sick jumps.
sick jumps, sick stunts.
oh my God. Ford versus Ferrari.
Dad core season already happening
there
right
we
now.
go. Okay, and I think movie number 1 has to be Tokyo Drift.
Holy shit, we're doing it.
Yeah, right off the bat, dude.
Holy shit. Oh, that's right. Yeah, let's do it. Let's fucking do it. Because that's like the standalone where you don't have to watch the others.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's completely standalone.
Let's fucking do
It's
it.
my favorite of the series.
Oh, Jesus Christ. A whole ass third of the movie meter of the Wheel of Chaos. There's no chaos in that. It's just
We
a third of
stood
it.
no chance. It was a super block of car movies.
Hey, horses didn't win last time.
Did,
Well, no, that's
did
not
Allie,
fair,
Did
'cause
you
it would have
pitch
been
both
like-
of those?
No, it was Ryan pitched farm movies. But it was like it would be
yeah.
like if we did horse movies and like Kentucky Derby movies or some shit. Like maybe next season. Great, Ryan. Let's fucking do this. Let's get in there.
I'm stoked.
The
I'm
garage?
like excited this time. I'm excited this time because we're not car people, right?
We're not
are
car guys.
Yeah, we're not car.
I play Gran Turismo sometimes. But that's about it.
I'm probably the most car guy out of us.
Well, folks, next week or whenever we can record, probably maybe next week, join us for our review of Tokyo Drift, the finest of the Fast and Furious franchise, I think. And join us for, we'll think of the name, I think episode 1
The
of next
Garage.
season. I like the garage, right? For season 9, Good Boys Gone Bland. We're headed into the garage. Vroom, vroom, motherfuckers.
Sayonara, Sean, and hello, Tokyo Drift.